The people you trust the most, your closest friends, the ones you call family, the ones you'd do anything for, most of them will disappoint you. Not because they're evil, not because they planned it, but because loyalty, real unconditional loyalty, is one of the rarest things on this earth. And if you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted deeply, if you've ever felt confused about why people you loved suddenly turned away, stay with me, because what I'm about to share might completely change the way you see relationships, trust, and yourself forever. Let's start with something painful but necessary to understand. Most people are loyal to how you make them feel, not to who you actually are. This single truth explains almost every betrayal, every sudden distance, every friendship that quietly faded away over time. Think about it honestly. When things were going well for you, when you were fun, successful, generous, or entertaining to be around, people stayed close. But the moment things got difficult, when you needed real support, real sacrifice, real inconvenience from them, many of those same people slowly disappeared. This isn't necessarily because they were bad people. It's because their connection to you was based on convenience, not true commitment. Real loyalty requires sacrifice, and sacrifice is uncomfortable. Most people aren't naturally wired to sacrifice their time, energy, comfort, or reputation for someone else, unless there's something deeply meaningful holding that bond together. Without that deeper foundation, relationships remain surface level, pleasant during easy times, but fragile the moment real difficulty arrives. This is why you might have noticed a painful pattern in your life. Friends who were there during celebrations disappeared during struggles. People who claimed to care deeply vanished the moment supporting you became inconvenient for them. This isn't just bad luck happening to you specifically. It's simply how most human relationships naturally operate, unless built on something far deeper than shared good times. Here's something important to understand. This doesn't mean everyone is fake or manipulative. Many people genuinely believe they're loyal, right up until loyalty actually requires real cost. It's easy to say, "I'll always be there for you" during a comfortable conversation. It's much harder to actually show up when being there costs time, money, comfort, or social standing. Words are cheap. Consistent action, especially during hard times, is what reveals true loyalty. This understanding isn't meant to make you bitter or distrustful of everyone around you. Instead, it's meant to help you see relationships more clearly, without unrealistic expectations that set you up for constant disappointment. When you stop expecting everyone to have deep, unconditional loyalty, you stop feeling shocked and hurt every time surface-level relationships behave exactly like surface-level relationships. Take a moment and think about your own life. How many people in your circle have truly been tested by real hardship and passed that test with consistent support? If the number feels smaller than you expected, know this: you're not unlucky. You're simply seeing an uncomfortable truth most people spend their entire lives avoiding. Now let's talk about something that makes this even more complicated: the difference between genuine friendship and what we can call convenience bonds. Understanding this difference will change how you interpret almost every relationship in your life. Convenience bonds form easily. You meet someone at work, at school, in your neighborhood, or through mutual friends, and because you're constantly around each other, a casual friendship naturally develops. You talk, you laugh, you share small parts of your life. But this bond exists mainly because of proximity and shared circumstances, not because of deep, tested commitment. The moment circumstances change, a job change, a move to a different city, a shift in social groups, these bonds often fade quietly, almost without anyone acknowledging why. This is completely normal, and understanding it removes so much unnecessary pain. Many people mistake convenience bonds for deep friendships, and then feel betrayed when those relationships naturally dissolve once circumstances shift. But convenience bonds were never built to survive distance, difficulty, or inconvenience in the first place. Expecting deep loyalty from a connection that was only ever surface level sets you up for disappointment that isn't really about betrayal. It's about misunderstanding what the relationship actually was. Genuine friendship, real loyalty, works completely differently. It survives distance, it survives disagreement, it survives inconvenience. It doesn't require constant contact or shared circumstances to remain strong. You could go months without speaking to a truly loyal friend and reconnect as if no time had passed at all. This kind of bond isn't built through comfort and convenience, it's built through shared experiences of real trust, honesty, and mutual sacrifice over time. Here's something worth reflecting on. Many people go their entire lives surrounded by convenience bonds, mistaking them for real friendships, never realizing why their social life always feels slightly hollow underneath the surface. If you've ever had many so-called friends, yet still felt deeply alone, this is often the exact reason why. The number of people around you means very little if none of those bonds are built on real, tested loyalty. Learning to tell the difference between these two types of relationships is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. It protects you from placing deep trust in shallow connections, and it helps you recognize and appreciate the rare, genuine bonds when they do appear in your life. Not every smiling face beside you is walking the same path with you, and understanding this early saves you from years of unnecessary heartbreak. Now let's talk about why people betray trust, even when they don't consciously see themselves as bad or disloyal. Understanding this will help you stop taking every betrayal so personally, because most betrayal comes from human self-interest, not targeted cruelty aimed specifically at you. Human beings are naturally wired for self-preservation. Even people with good hearts will, in moments of pressure, fear, or personal gain, prioritize their own comfort and safety over someone else's needs. This isn't a flaw unique to certain bad people, it's a deeply rooted survival instinct present in almost everyone, whether they admit it or not. When loyalty requires real personal cost, fear often quietly overrides good intentions. This is why people who seemed completely trustworthy can still disappoint you under pressure. A friend might avoid defending you in an argument because they fear social backlash. A family member might choose silence during a conflict because speaking up feels risky. A close companion might distance themselves during your hardest moments because your struggle makes them uncomfortable, reminding them of risks they don't want to face themselves. None of this makes betrayal hurt less, but understanding it removes the confusion of thinking something is uniquely wrong with you. Another important factor is that many people simply lack self-awareness about their own loyalty, or lack of it. They genuinely believe they're good friends, good family members, good partners, without ever being tested in situations that reveal the truth. It's easy to believe you're loyal when loyalty has never truly cost you anything. Many people discover their own limitations only when real pressure exposes them, sometimes to their own surprise as much as yours. Jealousy also plays a hidden role in many betrayals. Sometimes people distance themselves not because they dislike you, but because your growth, success, or happiness quietly triggers their own insecurities. Instead of confronting those uncomfortable feelings honestly, they create distance, criticize you subtly, or simply disappear from your life without clear explanation. This isn't really about you, it's about their own unresolved internal struggles. Understanding these hidden human patterns doesn't mean excusing betrayal or accepting mistreatment. It simply means removing the personal wound of thinking, "Why does this always happen to me?" and replacing it with clearer understanding. This is simply how untested, self-interested human nature often behaves under pressure. This shift protects your emotional well-being while helping you build healthier expectations moving forward, without becoming cold or closed off to everyone around you. Now let's talk about something most people never notice: how their own expectations quietly set them up for pain. This isn't about blaming yourself for being betrayed, it's about understanding how unrealistic expectations of others can multiply the hurt you experience. From childhood, many of us are taught ideas like friends will always be there for you, or family always has your back. These sound comforting, but they aren't always true in practice. When reality doesn't match these deeply held beliefs, the disappointment feels even sharper. Not just because someone let you down, but because it shattered something you believed was a guaranteed truth about how relationships work. Here's an important shift in thinking. Instead of expecting universal, automatic loyalty from everyone close to you, it becomes far healthier to expect loyalty only from those who have actually demonstrated it through consistent action over real time, under real pressure. This isn't pessimism. It's simply aligning your expectations with reality, rather than with an idealized version of how you wish people behaved. When you stop assuming loyalty is owed to you simply because someone is family, or simply because someone has called themselves your friend for years, You stop being blindsided every time surface-level relationships behave exactly as surface-level relationships do. Instead, you begin paying closer attention to actions, not just words or titles. Who actually shows up during hard times? Who defends you when you're not in the room? Who remains consistent, even when it costs them something? These questions reveal far more truth than any label like best friend or close family ever could. This shift also protects you from constantly feeling like a victim of betrayal. Instead of thinking, how could they do this to me? Which places you in a position of shock and pain every single time, you begin thinking, this person was never tested in this way before, and now I see clearly where they truly stand. This reframe doesn't eliminate the hurt completely, but it removes the added suffering of feeling personally targeted or uniquely unlucky. Lowering blind expectations doesn't mean lowering your standards for the people you keep close. In fact, it does the opposite. It raises your standards. Because you stop settling for empty promises and start valuing real, demonstrated loyalty far more than casual claims of friendship or family loyalty that were never actually tested. Let's talk now about something deeply uncomfortable but incredibly important: the role you might unknowingly play in attracting shallow relationships into your life. This isn't about blaming yourself for other people's lack of loyalty, but it is about recognizing patterns that might be quietly repeating themselves. Many people unconsciously seek approval, likability, or acceptance so strongly that they attach themselves to anyone willing to spend time with them, without carefully evaluating whether that person actually demonstrates real trustworthiness or depth of character. Think about how many relationships in your life began simply because someone was fun, friendly, or available, rather than because you carefully observed their character over time. This isn't a flaw, it's simply human nature. We naturally gravitate toward comfort and connection quickly, especially when we feel lonely or eager for companionship. But this same natural tendency can also lead us into relationships built on surface-level compatibility, rather than deep, tested reliability. Here's something worth considering. If you constantly find yourself disappointed by the same patterns, friends disappearing during hard times, family members choosing convenience over support, romantic partners showing loyalty only when things are easy, it might be worth examining who you're allowing close to you in the first place, and why. Are you choosing people based on how entertaining or comfortable they make you feel in the moment? Or are you choosing people based on their demonstrated character, especially during difficult or inconvenient situations? This isn't about becoming suspicious of everyone or refusing to build new relationships. It's about becoming more intentional. Instead of rushing into deep trust simply because someone seems nice or says the right things, allow relationships to be tested naturally over time, through both comfortable and uncomfortable situations before placing your full trust and expectations onto them. It's also worth reflecting on your own loyalty. Are there times you've quietly distanced yourself from someone during their difficult season without fully realizing it? Recognizing this in yourself isn't meant to create guilt, but rather awareness, because understanding your own occasional inconsistency helps you extend more realistic compassion toward others as well, without excusing genuine betrayal or mistreatment. Building healthier relationships moving forward doesn't mean expecting perfection from others or yourself. It means choosing people more intentionally, testing bonds through real experiences rather than assumptions, and recognizing that true loyalty is rare, valuable, and something to be earned and demonstrated over time, not something to be blindly expected from everyone who calls themselves your friend. Now let's talk about a painful but common experience: being betrayed by the people you trusted the most, not strangers or distant acquaintances, but close friends, family members, or partners. This kind of betrayal cuts deeper because it comes from someone who had intimate knowledge of your life, your weaknesses, and your trust. Here's something important to understand. The closer someone is to you, the more access they have, not just to your time and affection, but to your vulnerabilities. This is exactly why betrayal from someone close feels so devastating. It's not just the act itself, it's the realization that someone who knew you deeply still chose their own comfort, fear, or self-interest over protecting that trust. Many people struggle for years trying to understand why a close friend or family member betrayed them, replaying the situation over and over, searching for a satisfying explanation. But often, the answer is simpler and less personal than it feels. Most betrayal isn't a calculated plan to hurt you specifically. It's usually a moment of weakness, fear, jealousy, or self-interest that the other person gave into, without fully considering the deeper impact it would have on you. This doesn't excuse the pain caused, but it does offer a different lens to process it through. Instead of endlessly asking, "Why would they do this to me?" a more empowering question becomes, "What does this reveal about their character under pressure? And what boundaries do I need moving forward?" This shift moves you from victimhood into clarity, from confusion into decision-making about your own future relationships. It's also important to recognize that betrayal from someone close doesn't erase every good moment you shared with them. People are complex. Someone can genuinely care about you in many ways, while still failing you significantly in another moment. Holding both truths at once, that someone showed real love at times, and also failed you deeply at another time, allows you to process betrayal with more nuance, rather than swinging between idealizing or completely demonizing the person involved. Healing from betrayal by someone close requires releasing the need for a perfect explanation. Sometimes people hurt us simply because they were human, flawed, afraid, or self-focused in that specific moment, not because there was some grand, calculated reason behind it. Accepting this complexity, without excusing harmful behavior, is often the first real step toward genuine healing and moving forward with clearer, wiser boundaries. Let's talk now about something crucial for your emotional healing: learning to separate forgiveness from trust, because many people mistakenly believe these two things must always go together. After being betrayed, many people feel pressured, either by themselves or by others, to fully forgive and immediately restore the relationship back to how it was before. But forgiveness and trust are two completely different processes, and understanding this distinction can protect you from repeating painful cycles with people who haven't truly changed. Forgiveness is primarily for you, not for the other person. It means releasing the emotional weight of resentment and anger that would otherwise continue harming your own peace of mind. Holding on to bitterness doesn't punish the person who betrayed you, it simply keeps you emotionally tied to that painful moment, long after they may have moved on with their own life. Forgiveness allows you to release this weight, so you can heal and move forward, regardless of whether the other person acknowledges their mistake or not. Trust, however, is something entirely different. Trust must be earned back through consistent, demonstrated change over time, not simply given again because enough time has passed or because the person apologized. Many people rush back into full trust simply because they miss the relationship, or because guilt convinces them they're being unfair by staying cautious. But rebuilding trust wisely requires observing real, consistent change, not just words or temporary good behavior following the betrayal. It's completely healthy and often necessary to forgive someone internally while still maintaining boundaries or distance externally. You can release anger and resentment for your own peace, while still choosing not to place the same level of vulnerability and trust back into that relationship until real change has been clearly demonstrated over time. This isn't holding a grudge, it's practicing wisdom. Many people confuse moving on with immediately restoring full trust, believing that true forgiveness means acting as if nothing ever happened. But real emotional maturity allows space for both forgiveness and caution to exist simultaneously. You can wish someone well, release your anger toward them, and still choose to protect yourself by being more careful with what you share, expect, or invest in that relationship going forward. Understanding this distinction protects you from two extremes: staying bitter and closed off forever, or naively repeating painful patterns simply because guilt or nostalgia pushed you back into premature trust. Let's talk now about one of the most important shifts you can make after experiencing repeated betrayal: learning to build your sense of security from within yourself, rather than depending entirely on other people's loyalty. Many people place their entire emotional stability on the reliability of others. When someone stays loyal, they feel secure. When someone leaves or betrays them, their entire sense of safety collapses. This creates a fragile foundation because you're essentially handing your emotional well-being over to unpredictable human behavior you cannot fully control, no matter how good a person you are. Building internal security means developing a strong relationship with yourself first, one where your sense of worth, safety, and stability doesn't completely depend on whether others remain loyal to you. This doesn't mean you stop valuing relationships or caring deeply about people. It means you stop needing external loyalty just to feel okay within yourself. This shift happens gradually through self-reflection, self-trust, and consistently showing up for yourself the way you wish others would show up for you. When you learn to rely on your own judgment, your own resilience, and your own inner stability, betrayal still hurts, but it no longer completely destabilizes your entire sense of identity and safety. Here's something important to remember. People will come and go throughout your life, some staying briefly, some staying for decades, some leaving unexpectedly, others growing apart naturally over time. This is simply the nature of human relationships, but you remain a constant presence in your own life from beginning to end. Strengthening your relationship with yourself ensures that no matter who stays or who leaves, you continue feeling grounded, capable, and secure. This inner security also changes how you show up in relationships moving forward. Instead of desperately clinging to people out of fear of abandonment, you engage with others from a place of genuine connection rather than dependency. Paradoxically, this often attracts healthier, more loyal relationships into your life because people naturally feel more drawn to someone who isn't desperately seeking validation or security from external sources. Building this kind of inner strength doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't mean becoming emotionally distant or closed off from others. It simply means developing enough self-trust and self-worth that your peace of mind remains steady, regardless of how consistently or inconsistently other people choose to show up in your life. Let's talk now about something that might feel surprising: learning to appreciate the rare people who do show real loyalty, instead of only focusing on those who disappointed you. After experiencing repeated betrayal, it's easy to become so focused on who let you down that you overlook the people who consistently show up quietly without needing recognition or praise. These are often the people who don't make loud promises or dramatic declarations of loyalty. They simply remain steady, present, and honest, through both good times and difficult ones. Take a moment and think carefully. Is there someone in your life who has consistently shown up for you, even when it wasn't convenient? Someone who told you a hard truth instead of flattering you? Someone who stayed present during your lowest moments without needing anything in return? These people are rare, and often, in the pain of betrayal from others, they go unnoticed or underappreciated. Real loyalty rarely announces itself loudly. It shows up quietly, consistently, through small, ordinary moments, checking in without being asked, remembering important details about your life, defending you when you're not present to defend yourself, or simply sitting with you in silence during hard times without needing to fill the space with empty words. Learning to recognize and appreciate this quiet, consistent loyalty shifts your focus away from constant disappointment toward genuine gratitude. This doesn't mean ignoring or minimizing the pain caused by those who betrayed your trust, but balancing your focus, acknowledging both the painful betrayals and the quiet, consistent loyalty still present in your life creates a more accurate, less overwhelming picture of your relationships overall. Focusing solely on betrayal creates a distorted belief that no one is trustworthy, when in reality, genuine loyalty often exists quietly, simply overshadowed by louder, more painful experiences. It's also important to actively nurture these rare, loyal relationships once you recognize them. Express genuine appreciation. Show up consistently for them, just as they've shown up for you. Real loyalty grows stronger when it's mutually recognized and reinforced, rather than taken for granted simply because it doesn't create drama or crisis. Shifting your attention toward gratitude for genuine loyalty, rather than exclusively focusing on betrayal, doesn't erase past pain, but it does create a healthier, more balanced perspective, allowing you to continue trusting selectively and wisely, rather than becoming completely closed off to meaningful connection. Let's talk now about something essential for protecting yourself moving forward: learning to set healthy boundaries without becoming bitter or emotionally closed off from meaningful connection. After experiencing repeated betrayal, many people swing toward one of two extremes. Either they remain naively open, allowing the same patterns to repeat again and again, or they become completely guarded, refusing to let anyone get close enough to potentially hurt them again. Neither extreme creates a healthy, balanced life. The goal isn't to eliminate vulnerability entirely, it's to become wiser and more intentional about who earns access to your deeper trust. Healthy boundaries don't mean shutting people out completely. They mean allowing relationships to develop gradually, giving trust in proportion to demonstrated reliability, rather than handing over deep vulnerability immediately, based purely on charm, shared interests, or surface-level connection. This protects you from repeating painful patterns while still allowing genuine, trustworthy people the opportunity to prove themselves over time. It's also important to communicate boundaries clearly, rather than expecting others to automatically understand your unspoken expectations. If certain behavior crosses a line for you, expressing this directly, calmly, and confidently protects your peace far more effectively than silently resenting someone while hoping they eventually figure out what upset you. Healthy boundaries require clear communication, not silent expectation. Another important part of healthy boundaries is accepting that not everyone will meet your standards for closeness and trust, and that's completely okay. Not every relationship needs to become deeply intimate or fully trusted. Some relationships are meant to remain casual, friendly, and light-hearted, without ever requiring the deeper vulnerability reserved for a smaller, carefully chosen circle of truly loyal people. Recognizing and accepting different levels of closeness prevents unnecessary disappointment when casual relationships don't provide deep emotional support. Boundaries also protect your energy from people who repeatedly demonstrate unreliability or disloyalty, even after multiple chances. It's healthy to reduce access, or in some cases, completely step away from relationships that consistently cause harm without guilt or the need for lengthy explanations. Protecting your peace sometimes requires quietly creating distance, rather than seeking dramatic confrontations or resolution from people who have already shown you who they are through repeated actions. Setting boundaries isn't about becoming cold or unkind. It's about becoming wise, protecting your emotional well-being, while still remaining open to genuine connection with people who consistently prove themselves worthy of deeper trust over time. Let's talk now about something powerful, redefining what real friendship actually means, moving away from unrealistic, idealized expectations toward a clearer, more mature understanding. Many people grow up believing real friendship means constant availability, complete understanding without ever needing to explain yourself, and unconditional support no matter the circumstances. While these ideals sound beautiful, they rarely match realistic human capability. Everyone has their own limitations, struggles, and personal circumstances that sometimes prevent them from showing up perfectly, even when they genuinely care about you. Real mature friendship isn't about perfection or constant availability. It's about consistency over time, honesty even when it's uncomfortable, and genuine effort, even if that effort sometimes falls short due to someone's own personal struggles. A real friend doesn't need to be perfect. They simply need to be honest, consistent, and willing to keep showing up, even imperfectly, over the long term. This redefinition helps you avoid two common mistakes. First, expecting flawless loyalty from every relationship, which sets you up for constant disappointment when normal human limitations naturally appear. Second, completely dismissing genuinely good relationships simply because they aren't perfect, causing you to overlook real, meaningful connections due to unrealistic standards. Real friendship also allows space for disagreement, distance, and even temporary conflict, without the entire relationship collapsing. Two people who genuinely value each other can experience misunderstandings, arguments, or periods of distance, and still find their way back to a strong, trusting connection. This resilience through difficulty is actually a stronger indicator of real friendship than surface-level harmony that has never been tested by conflict or disagreement. It's also worth recognizing that real friendship often looks different depending on life circumstances. A busy parent might not have as much time to constantly check in, but still deeply values your friendship. Someone going through their own personal struggles might temporarily withdraw, not because they don't care, but because they're overwhelmed by their own circumstances. Understanding this nuance prevents you from mistaking temporary limitations for a lack of genuine care or loyalty. Redefining friendship in this more realistic, mature way allows you to build deeper, more resilient relationships, rather than constantly searching for an idealized, perfect friendship that rarely, if ever, exists in real human relationships. Let's talk now about something deeply important: learning to recognize your own patterns in relationships, especially if you keep experiencing similar disappointments again and again with different people. If you notice a recurring theme, constantly feeling betrayed, constantly feeling unappreciated, constantly attracting people who eventually let you down, it's worth pausing to reflect honestly, not with self-blame but with genuine curiosity. Are there certain red flags you consistently overlook early in relationships? Are you perhaps drawn toward charming, exciting personalities, while ignoring early signs of inconsistency or unreliability. Sometimes, without realizing it, people repeat familiar relationship patterns from childhood. If loyalty was inconsistent growing up, from parents, siblings, or early friendships, it can unconsciously feel normal, or even oddly comfortable, to recreate similar patterns in adulthood, even though consciously it causes pain and confusion. Recognizing these unconscious patterns is often the first step toward breaking free from repeating the same painful cycles. It's also helpful to examine how you communicate your needs and expectations within relationships. Do you clearly express what loyalty and support look like to you? Or do you expect others to automatically understand your needs without direct communication, only feeling hurt later when those unspoken expectations aren't met? Learning to communicate clearly, rather than assuming others should intuitively understand your needs, significantly reduces unnecessary disappointment and misunderstanding. Another important pattern to examine is how quickly you extend deep trust to new people. Do you tend to open up completely within the first few interactions, sharing vulnerable details and expecting immediate reciprocation? While enthusiasm for new connections is natural, extending deep trust too quickly often leads to disappointment, simply because genuine reliability hasn't had enough time to be demonstrated yet. This reflection isn't about blaming yourself for other people's failures to show loyalty. It's about empowering yourself with awareness, recognizing patterns you can adjust so you can build healthier relationship habits moving forward, rather than feeling like a passive victim repeatedly experiencing the same painful cycle without any ability to change the outcome. Awareness always precedes change. By honestly examining your own patterns without harsh self-judgment, you position yourself to make wiser, more intentional choices in future relationships, gradually attracting and nurturing deeper, more reliable connections over time. Let's talk now about something incredibly liberating: releasing the need to be understood by everyone, especially those who have already shown you they aren't capable of truly understanding your feelings or experiences. After betrayal, many people spend enormous emotional energy trying to make the other person understand the depth of pain they caused. They replay conversations, craft explanations, hope for an apology that truly acknowledges the damage done. But here's an uncomfortable truth. Not everyone has the emotional capacity or self-awareness to fully understand the impact of their actions, no matter how clearly you explain it to them. This doesn't mean your feelings aren't valid or that the betrayal didn't matter. It simply means that seeking validation and understanding from someone who lacks the emotional depth or willingness to truly comprehend your experience often leads to continued frustration and disappointment, prolonging your pain rather than helping you heal. Releasing this need for external understanding doesn't mean suppressing your feelings or pretending the betrayal didn't hurt. It means redirecting your energy toward processing your emotions independently, or with people genuinely capable of understanding and supporting you, rather than continuously seeking closure from someone who has already demonstrated their limitations. This shift can feel difficult at first, especially if you deeply valued the relationship or respected the person who hurt you. But real healing often requires accepting that some people simply won't ever fully grasp the impact of their actions, and continuing to seek their understanding only keeps you emotionally tied to unresolved pain. Instead, focus your energy on processing your emotions in healthier ways, journaling your thoughts, talking to trusted friends or a therapist, or simply allowing yourself time and space to heal without needing external validation. This internal processing, rather than external validation seeking, ultimately provides more sustainable, lasting relief from emotional pain. It's also helpful to remember that seeking closure doesn't always require an apology or acknowledgement from the other person. Sometimes closure comes entirely from within, from your own acceptance, understanding, and decision to move forward, regardless of whether the other person ever fully understands or acknowledges the pain they caused. Letting go of the need for external validation and understanding is one of the most freeing steps toward genuine emotional healing, allowing you to move forward with clarity and peace, rather than remaining stuck, waiting indefinitely for someone else to finally understand. Let's talk now about something crucial for your future relationships: learning how to build genuine loyalty into new connections, rather than passively hoping loyalty simply appears naturally over time. Loyalty isn't something that magically exists from the beginning of a relationship. It's something built gradually, through consistent honesty, mutual respect, and shared experiences over time, especially experiences involving real vulnerability, difficulty, or inconvenience. If you want deeper, more loyal relationships moving forward, it helps to actively contribute toward building that foundation, rather than simply waiting passively to see who proves themselves loyal to you. Start by being the kind of friend or partner you wish to attract into your own life. Show up consistently, even when it's inconvenient. Communicate honestly, even when honesty feels uncomfortable. Offer support during difficult times, not just during celebrations or easy moments. This doesn't guarantee others will reciprocate perfectly, but it does create a foundation built on genuine demonstrated loyalty from your side, which naturally attracts similarly loyal people over time. It's also important to allow relationships to develop gradually, rather than rushing intimacy or trust prematurely. Genuine loyalty often reveals itself slowly, through small, consistent actions repeated over time, rather than through dramatic declarations or intense emotional connection early on. Patience during this process protects you from repeating past patterns of extending deep trust too quickly, only to be disappointed later. Additionally, pay close attention to how people treat others, not just how they treat you directly. Someone who consistently gossips about others, breaks promises to other people, or shows inconsistency in their other relationships is likely to eventually show similar behavior toward you as well, even if your current relationship feels strong. Observing behavior patterns across someone's entire life, not just your interactions with them, offers valuable insight into their true reliability and character. Building genuinely loyal relationships also requires clear, honest communication about expectations, rather than assuming others automatically understand your needs. Openly discussing what loyalty and support mean to you personally allows both people to align clearly, rather than operating on separate, unspoken assumptions that eventually lead to disappointment or misunderstanding. Ultimately, cultivating loyalty in new relationships requires patience, intentionality, and leading by example, rather than passively waiting to discover who proves trustworthy through unpredictable circumstances alone. By actively nurturing genuine loyalty within yourself first, you naturally attract and build deeper, more meaningful, and more reliable relationships moving forward. As we come to the end of this journey together, let's bring everything full circle. Loyalty, real, unconditional, tested loyalty, is rare, not because people are inherently bad, but because true loyalty requires sacrifice, consistency, and character that most relationships never get the chance or the willingness to fully demonstrate. Understanding this doesn't mean living with bitterness or distrust toward everyone around you. It means releasing unrealistic expectations that once left you constantly disappointed and replacing them with clearer, wiser understanding. Not everyone owes you unconditional loyalty simply because of a title, a friendship, or shared history. Real loyalty is earned, demonstrated, and revealed through actions, especially during difficult, inconvenient moments, not through comfortable words spoken during easy times. You've learned that betrayal often says more about the other person's internal struggles, fears, and limitations than it does about your own worth or value. You've learned the difference between convenience bonds and genuine friendship, the importance of separating forgiveness from trust, and the power of building your own inner security, rather than depending entirely on others for your emotional stability. You've also learned to appreciate the quiet, consistent loyalty that already exists in your life, often overshadowed by louder betrayals, and how to set healthy boundaries without becoming closed off from meaningful connection. And perhaps most importantly, you've learned that you have the power to actively build genuine loyalty into your future relationships, rather than passively hoping it appears on its own. Moving forward, carry this wisdom with you, not as a reason to trust no one, but as a guide to trust wisely, patiently, and intentionally. Real, loyal relationships do exist, but they're built slowly, tested through time, and recognized through consistent action, not empty promises or surface-level connection. If this video gave you clarity about relationships, loyalty, and trust, take a moment right now. Like this video so it reaches someone else who needs to hear this today. Subscribe to this channel because this is only the beginning of the deeper truths we'll continue exploring together. And leave a comment below, sharing which part of this video resonated with you the most. I read every single one. This has been Master Shen Kai. Trust wisely, protect your peace, and I'll see you in the next one.